So Durand Cup is on its way and it's about to start. The inauguration ceremony was amazing. We got to see so much in that, and we are about to witness an amazing tournament in my opinion. Five ISL teams, a lot of I League representation, as well as a lot of domestic sides. Alongside that, our armed forces as well. Now, before I start talking about the predictions itself, there are a lot of things that I wanted to talk about which I felt like were major key points of discussion over the last few days, and I want to give these pointers out just because I wanted to talk about them. There was no specific other reason. So, first, it has to be about East Bengal and Mohun Bagan being in the same group. I believe there is monetary reasons for it. Again, it's a tournament which needs money. It's heavily subsidized by the government. A lot of benefits are given to it. Most of its sponsors are also government companies like public companies, public undertakings. So it has to make sense that they have to generate some sort of money. And if you've seen the video about the history of the Durand Cup, I have said this that the reason why they shifted the tournament in Kolkata was because they wanted to catch that Kolkata football attention. And for that reason, I believe East Bengal and Mohun Bagan being in the same group makes a lot of sense. Not only that, as I'll get to with my predictions, if East Bengal and Mohun Bagan both make it out, there's a very high chance that they will meet again in the quarterfinals. And I believe catching like the lightning in the bottle twice, it is big. And that is what Durand Cup will be looking forward to. Second thing, which is again like a big major concern or a like major talking point over the last few days, has been about the fact that there are just five ISL teams. Now, I think it's a bit ridiculous in the sense that these ISL teams didn't play any games last season. So for them to miss out on a prestigious tournament like this, I know it's kind of a glorified friendly if you think about it, but it's still a great opportunity even for your reserve teams, even for teams that you don't necessarily players that you don't necessarily play. So it's kind of sad on that regard. But I also believe that this is a great opportunity for people who don't follow rest of the Indian league. Me, for example, like I don't keep up with what's going on in the second tier, the third tier. It's a great opportunity for us to look at ISL teams, like I League teams. We can stack them up against ISL teams, and we get to see a lot of these players. For a lot of these players, this is their highlight. Like this is the highlight of their journey to be playing in such a prestigious tournament. So for me to undermine that is something that I won't do. I am actually really appreciative of the fact that a lot of I League teams are playing, and that is amazing in my opinion. Now, finally, I think the thing that I have a little bit of a problem with is the fact that there are so many like it feels like they are local baiting. In my opinion, I wish there was a little more diversity in the cast that was the Durand Cup like participation teams. I wish there were a lot more West Coast representation. We could have seen maybe a club from Goa, maybe we could have seen Gokulam Kerala, Dempo, Rajasthan United, for example. So I wish we had a little more West Coast representation. It's very East dominated. Like the only team from the West Coast is Mumbai FC and South United FC. If you count it as that, it's the only club from the South. So I feel like it's very less diverse in that sense. But again, it's a great opportunity for us to get to see Shillong side of the football as well. And since a lot of the tournament is happening there, it makes a lot of sense. It just does. Economically, it makes a lot of sense. Attention wise, it makes a lot of sense. So, just wanted to get this out of the way and let's get into the predictions. So, I have my notes ready about each and every single one of these groups, and I've been thinking a lot about them in the context that we know who's gonna win them, like who's the favorite to win. But I still wanted to talk about a lot of them, show some love, like spread the love out a little bit. And starting off with the group, technically the group of death, but it's not. It's like a group of slaughter. It's Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, CISF, and finally South United FC. Let's talk about the best team in India. I don't think like anybody can argue that it's considered the national club of India. So let's talk about Mohun Bagan for a second. Mohun Bagan, this might be one of the most dangerous like versions of Mohun Bagan we have seen in a very long while. This can be a very dangerous side in the sense that they've been wanting a lot of players. I know Changte has been rumored to Mohun Bagan. On specific new acquisitions, they are yet to be filtered out in the preseason tournament. But once we see the spine settled, I think this is gonna be an amazing Durand Cup for Mohun Bagan. Maybe a finals on the card once again. Easily the best team. But there is another team that can arguably go band for band with Mohun Bagan, and that is East Bengal. Now, East Bengal, obviously ISL champions, they have so much pedigree when it comes to this tournament. They are the second most successful club after Mohun Bagan, and they will be looking to tie that score up again to make it 17-17. East Bengal, compared to how most ISL teams have been staying pat at where they are, they've not felt comfortable with that. They want to go back at it again. I know Oscar Brusen is not in this team anymore. He's not a part of this team anymore. But I still see the potential in this. Jeekson, then Bipin, guys like these, uh, Yusuf Zijari, one of the key players in the success of East Bengal last season. Now I'm not very sure who the coach of East Bengal is gonna be, but let's hope we get to see that before it's done. The opening match is literally East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, and I feel like that derby decides who's gonna finish on top. Uh, I'll get to my final predictions in a little later. Now let's talk about the others. South United FC, it's a development first side. It's a pretty young team, and compared to East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, they come with nowhere close. Okay, they finished last in last year's Durand Cup, and this again is an opportunity to get more exposure. They don't have any standout names, and it's very easy to see them finishing in the bottom again. Once again, that depends on whether they win against CISF or not. And CISF, one of the armed forces teams. I don't know much about them. I'm not gonna pretend that I do, but again, they're gonna play hard running, organized, low block, energetic football. It's easy to dismiss them, but then again, this is the East Bengal Mohun Bagan group, so they are not gonna make it easy for the both of them. Now, again, this is going to be a little controversial, but I believe that East Bengal is going to finish on top. I think there's going to be a draw in the derby. East Bengal is going to finish on top just by goal difference, like maybe by one or two goal differences. Mohun Bagan is going to finish second, but they are going to comfortably make it out in the quarterfinals. And South United FC and CSF finish at the bottom. I think that's just the way it's going to be. Speaking of Group B, another group in Kolkata, my Mohammedan SC. Now, what do we say about Mohammedan SC? Okay, they got relegated last season in the ISL. It was not the best campaign. They couldn't even make it out into the quarterfinals last season in the Durand Cup. Obviously, they were in the group of death, so it kind of makes a lot of sense. But this year, we've been rewarded with a much easier group. So, on paper, technically, we're still the favorites to win. And there is a high chance that we finish top on the group. I am gonna be a little confident, and I'm saying we are gonna beat Army. I'm going to the FC Bhagpat game. I finally realized that it's gonna happen in Salt Lake Stadium. I first initially thought it was gonna be in Kishore Bharti, but it didn't happen to be in Kishore Bharti. And I'm definitely going to watch that game. Definitely going to see another I League side and see how they're doing as well. And it's gonna be Mohammedan finishing on top of this group. I don't think I have to say much. But let's still talk about the other two first time debutants. Bhagpat FC, Banaras based. They're the I League 3 champions and newly promoted. They're going to field a young team. And I found out that their average squad is just 22, which is amazing. And this is going to be the first real test against professional teams. And getting to play in a stadium like Salt Lake Stadium, the Vivekananda Yuva Bharati Krinagan, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing exposure for Samleshwari FC as well, who play in the I League 3. Even though I don't expect much from them, they might get a few shock points here and there. I sort of see Bhagpat finishing second. And speaking of Army, again, it's the same thing. I don't really know much about them. It's gonna be very organized. They're gonna be fit. They're gonna be active, and they're gonna have some pretty good games. But I see them finishing third, and unfortunately, I see Samleshwari FC, like Samleshwari Sporting, finishing fourth. I don't know much about them, so I can't really tell you who exactly is gonna be the star players. But This is the way I see this group finishing. I see Mohammedan on top, Bhakpat FC, then Army, and then Samleshwari Sporting. Now let's talk about Group C. In a new city, this is gonna be Ranchi's first time hosting the Durand Cup, and let's start off with easily the most favorites to win this group. Jamshedpur FC punched way above their weight last season. Owen Coyle managed to almost win, like almost be around the winning phase of the ISL. Like they were about there. They obviously mathematically could have won it, but obviously they weren't that close. Really, it was a very close race, but they missed out and they finished fifth. This team, it has some amazing players, and it's very hard to see them not win. Like it's very hard to see them not finish first. Mohammed Sanan, he's one of my favorite players. I have a very soft spot for Jamshedpur FC. I might some in some other videos talk about why, but Mohammed Sanan, he's one of my favorite players. He has 13 ISL experience, and he got his first Indian cap playing in the Unity Cup. So that's amazing, and I hope he's looking forward to the next season. I think he's gonna have a big season. He is one of my players to watch out for. The best case scenario for Jamshedpur again is to make it out of the quarterfinals. Their best ever finish is quarterfinals, which they finished last year, and they will be looking to make their first ever semi final. I hope that turns out the way it does, but so far I see them finishing first in this group easy. Now let's talk about SC Delhi. SC Delhi technically are like Hyderabad FC. I don't know how to explain the whole thing to somebody who does not follow Indian football, but they are a Phoenix club sort of that came out of Hyderabad FC. They claim that last season was their first ISL and this is going to be their first full season, and that makes this their debut Durand Cup season. Now they are an ISL team, so I have high expectations from them considering how things play out. They could easily like finish first as well. Like they could topple Jamshedpur, like get an upset win or maybe like a draw to settle the scores even. But I see them finishing second. Uh, Manoj Mohammed, he's one of the guys to look out for. He scored an equalizer in the first ever ISL point, a 2-2 comeback draw against Mumbai City. Indian Air Force and Defenders FC, the two teams to round this group off. I think Indian Air Force finishes second. They were pretty good last season, or maybe I'm confusing them with Army. Not exactly. I think I did the same thing in the previews as well. Maybe Indian Air Force didn't have a great season last season. I'm not very sure, but regardless, I see them finishing third. I don't know much about Defenders FC considering they are an Army team, and I don't really know much about them. They are kind of like the unknown of preseason tour. Like they are the unknown of this year's Durand Cup. You don't know what to expect, but I'm still pretty excited for it. And again, as I suggested in my preview shorts, if you are somebody who lives in Ranchi, you should definitely go watch one of these games. I think it's gonna be amazing. But speaking of the group finally, I think it's gonna be Jamshedpur, SC Delhi finishing second. It's gonna be Indian Air Force, and then it's gonna be Defenders FC. That's how I see the group playing out. Now let's talk about Group D. Group D is the local group. Like everybody there is very local. Trau, Neroka, Ringdai, all these three are around Imphal based. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup, really. Now everywhere I've seen, Trau has been like the predicted favorites to win. It's pretty close. Like it's pretty even amongst all of them. The last time this group played out, like a similar group played out, Navy finished on top. So can we expect them to go again, like do the same thing again? I don't really know. So I'm just gonna go off of gut feeling, right? I think my favorite team in this year's Durand Cup, I feel like my team to watch out for is FC Ringai. I just have this feeling about them. The little bit I've seen, the little bit I've like experienced Ringai, it's a pretty good team, and it's going to be a developmental side. Obviously all these three teams local to Imphal, and they probably have their own like fan bases and support systems. I think Ringdai might finish on top of this group. I was not convinced by Neroka and Trao last season, and considering the fact that Navy, with all due respect to Navy, obviously they finished on top, I am really not that impressed by both of them, and I want to see something different. Obviously, Trao being the favorites, they might finish on top, but my prediction goes like this: I think FC Ringdai finish on top. I think Navy finishes second. Navy still gonna have a good showing. They're one of the best like armed forces teams. Shaw finishes third, Naroka finishes fourth. I think that's the way it's gonna be. And I want to see FC Ringdai do good in this tournament. I just have this feeling they're gonna do good. Obviously, they are way higher up the pyramid, like compared to Shah and Naroka, and they were runners up in last season's I League 3, and they got promoted to I League 2. So it's a pretty exciting side to watch out for, and that's how I see Group D play out. Group E is the Shillong group with clearly the favorites being Shillong Lajung. I don't think I have to speak much about them. Their reputation speaks for itself. Obviously, runners up in last season's IFL, and they were an amazing side. They almost got there. Like they almost got to Diamond Harbour, and apparently it's been confirmed that Diamond Harbour has gotten the invitation. So the Shillong thing is kind of dead now. But I think they have this. I just have this feeling that if there was something like crazy to happen in this year's Durand Cup, it might be Shillong Lajong. I just have this unshakable feeling that Shillong Lajong is going to do great this season. Like they're going to show the world that hey, we finished runners up, we didn't finish it like IFL on top, and we haven't gotten to ISL, but we can still hold up against these teams. Frankie Buam, the heartbeat of their attack, easily like the best player. He's comfortable playing attacking midfielder or winger, and he's fresh off signing a new contract after an IFL standout season. This is his cup to play for. I think he might have that golden ball or golden boot kind of a season with them. I'm really excited to see Shillong what they do in this tournament. Easily the favorites, and in my eyes, they finished number one. Now, 2, 3, 4 is kind of a toss up. I don't know who exactly might get there. Uh, Nongse, Langsing, and Mumbai FC. There's not much that I can talk to you about all of them individually, but Langsing, this is their debut season, and they are a proven Shillong local talent. This is a developmental side, so there's not much that I can tell you about them, but they are a well-regarded regional club getting its first national stage look. I'm gonna go ahead and say they finished second. Nongse SC Meghalayan Premier League champions. They are making their first time appearance in the Durand Cup, and it's a great grassroots to national stage story. I'm just gonna go out of the limb and say if they finish third in this group, and Mumbai FC. It's not that I underestimate the talent of Mumbai's football, but again, this is like Shillong football that we are talking about. It's basically Mumbai talent versus Meghalayan talent, and I just have a feeling they're gonna be slightly outmatched in this Durand Cup. I want to see them do good because it's a team from Mumbai, and it's a team that I want to see do good. I'm gonna support this side, but I don't see them finishing anything above fourth, unfortunately, and I feel bad about that as well. I feel bad about that prediction, but hey, it's just the way it is. I think Shillong finishes on top. Langsing and Nungse sort of finish similar in points. Think they both get 4 points. They get to draw against each other, like a 2-2 draw, and Mumbai FC finishes at bottom, unfortunately. Now, finally, Group F, the Guwahati group with the Durand Cup champions. The defending champions, back to back Durand Cup winners, having demolished Diamond Harbour 6-1 last year's final, now chasing an outright three-peat at home in Guwahati under Juan Pedro Ben Ali. This is the closest thing that this tournament has come to see as far as a dynasty is concerned in the modern era, and they are looking forward to becoming the first non Bengali team to three-peat. The players to watch out for are Paramveer, the 19-year-old centre back who's already made his international debut. I don't think I have to waste any time by saying that they are easily the favorites to win this group. It's gonna be a home crowd advantage as well, and considering how their pedigree has been in this season, they're gonna win this group by a margin, by a huge margin, in my opinion. Now, the second Assam-based team in this tournament is Borderland FC. Borderland finished first in the group in the previous tournament, and they do have some good players in them as well. Even though there is no one that I can specifically point out to you, they're gonna finish second in this group in my opinion, simply because of how much they have. Like, first of all, it's gonna be a home crowd advantage for them as well, and they already have a lot of Durand Cup experience, so that's gonna play a big factor. And They might get a few competitive results which may push them up like the second place standings, but I see them finishing second. I don't see them making it past the group stage. Now, rounding this group out is FC1, a developmental side representing Kashmir and Ladakh. Players from Kashmir and Ladakh are playing for FC1, and this is nothing more than just them getting exposure. So I am full for it, and I want to see some of the best football that we can see from Kashmir and Ladakh players. They had two teams last season in FC1 Ladakh and Real Kashmir, but they just get one in this tournament. Finally, rounding this group off is Karbi Anglong Morningstar FC, another Assam region representative rounding out the Northeast contingent in this group. I don't know much about Morningstar, but I can say that they might finish third. Like, there is a bit of a contention between FC1 and Morningstar. I'm just gonna be a homer and say FC1 finishes third and Morningstar finishes fourth. I want to see Kashmir and Ladakh do great in football. I want to see them do great in any sport, regardless, because they are quite a story in themselves. I want to make a story on Real Kashmir. I'm really inspired by this T4 football video that I had seen, and I want to talk about Kashmir football. And for that reason, just because I'm trying to be nice to them, I see them finishing third. Like, I'm just gonna say it out there. I am not sure whether this is gonna happen. I'm not sure whether any of this is gonna happen, but I wasted too much time on FC1 and Morningstar. FC1 finishes third, Morningstar finishes fourth. So that is Northeast, Bodoland, FC1, and Morningstar, rounding out the final group of this year's Durand Cup. Just to recap, I think East Bengal finishes on top of their group. East Bengal, Mohammedan, Jamshedpur, Ringdai, Shillong Lajung, and Northeast United. These guys finish on top, and out of the second place finishers, I think Mohun Bagan and SC Delhi are the ones that make it through. Now, there is no seeded formats of any sort, so you just have to assume like who's gonna play whom in the quarterfinals. My assumption is this: Ranchi gets a quarterfinal, Shillong gets a quarterfinal, Kolkata get two. So everyone who wins their group gets to play at home. So by that assumption, Jamshedpur plays at home in Ranchi, Shillong plays at home in Shillong, Mohammedan plays at home in Mohammedan, and East Bengal play at home in East Bengal. So with that, this is just my predictions on how it's gonna line up. I think Mohun Bagan play Mohammedan in Kolkata. I don't think they let Mohun Bagan play anywhere outside Kolkata. Really, they want to get those fans in the stadium. So it's gonna be Mohammedan and Mohun Bagan. Playing East Bengal will be SC Delhi, second place team, so they get to travel to Kolkata to face East Bengal. The team facing Jamshedpur will be FC Rengdai, and Northeast and Shillong Lajung. They're gonna face each other in Shillong, if that makes any sense. Now, quarterfinals. And let's just get the easy ones out of the way. East Bengal make it to the semi-final, Mohun Bagan make it to the semi-final. Now, as a Mohammedan fan, I don't think we can stop either one of them. Like, regardless of who we face, obviously it could be East Bengal that finishes second or Mohun Bagan that finishes second. I don't think whoever comes like to face both of them in Kolkata can beat them. They are just way ahead when it comes to the rest of the teams, and their squad depth, the players they sign, the quality of managers that they have, it shows. And it's gonna be another, not exactly another, but it's gonna be a quarterfinal, like a semi-final between East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. I see it already. I don't think Mohammedan or SC Delhi will be able to stop that. So let's just get it out of the way, right? Now let's talk about Jamshedpur versus FC Ringdai. I feel like there is somewhere in that there is a surprise. Like, we could see a surprise between these two. I can see Jamshedpur fumbling again, another one. They should have beaten Diamond Harbour last time, but Diamond Harbour sort of outplayed them. It was their best opportunity to make it to the semi final. God knows how the seeding would have worked. In this case, like, I would much rather be Jamshedpur, and for that reason, I think my Cinderella story Durand Cup team FC Ringdai gets beaten by Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur making their first ever Durand Cup semi final. And finally, the hardest game to predict among these two. There's not much. I think there is some to separate these two sides, but easily two of the most popular teams from Northeast region, Northeast United and Shillong Lachung. Somewhere in my heart says that if this matchup happens, Shillong might be able to win. It might be crazy to say this, but I think Shillong are a pretty good side and they can win this easily if they want to. Right? They can win this game not easily. I think easily is a wrong word, but I can see them win. But I'm just gonna be respectful to the back-to-back champions. I'm just gonna be respectful to the back-to-back champions, and I'm gonna say that Northeast United win this. It's gonna be an amazing run. I hope the seedings are a little different from what I predicted. Maybe like Northeast get to play Jamshedpur and so on and so forth, so that we can see another matchup between these two teams. Northeast gets to play in Shillong again for their semi-final against Jamshedpur, and that is gonna round out the final four of this tournament. It's gonna be Mohun Bagan versus East Bengal, and it's gonna be Jamshedpur versus Northeast United. Northeast United make it to the final. I don't think I have to say it. Otherwise, I think they make it to another final, third time in a row, like three times in a row, and they come to Kolkata again to face. Oh, this is hard. This is the hardest one in my opinion. I'm just gonna say Mohun Bagan, like off the rim. Like I predicted East Bengal to finish on top for that reason. I think Mohun Bagan comes back to clutch a semi-final, a goal from Apuya or maybe like Abdul Samad in like stoppage time. So it's like a 3-2 sort of an affair, and Mohun Bagan squeak past East Bengal to make it to their God knows how many finals they've been to, but another finals matchup like a 2024 finals matchup, and it's Northeast United versus Mohun Bagan in Kolkata, Vivekananda Yuva Bharati Kringan. Whoa. If this is what happens again, it's gonna be a completely different story this time. Now, before I give my pros and cons, obviously, I just want to sort of make sense in my head. Obviously, Northeast United, they are going to be way more serious about this Durand Cup. They are looking to make history in their eyes, becoming the first ever non-Bengali team against a Bengali side that may be motivated to not let them have that, because it's something that Mohun Bagan really takes pride in. Whether they face Mohun Bagan or East Bengal, they're going to take a lot of pride in that. As much as I think that northeastern teams do take Durand Cup a lot seriously, this is a very talented Mohun Bagan team, and they're gonna field their strongest lineup for the final if it happens. And for some reason, I think it will not happen. Like I think Mohun Bagan wins this. They win their, is it 19th title? Whoa. I think Mohun Bagan win the 19th title in front of their home crowd. It's gonna be something to cheer about, considering how the previous season went for them. They missed out on, like, by just a point, the ISL title once again, and they missed out on the Federation Cup as well. They will be looking to clinch the Durand Cup, and I feel like Northeast United loses. I know the last time this game happened, I predicted Mohun Bagan to win as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if Northeast United wins. I won't be surprised if they win three in a row. But that is sort of my prediction. Can't wait for Northeast United fans to come at me for this, but hey, it's just a prediction, and I want to see something different completely to what I just prescribed. But hey, it's just football. So that was my Durand Cup predictions. And let me know what your thoughts are, who your favorite player is going to be, who you think we should look out for, and which team we might be sleeping on. And let me know your predicted winners as well. I will see you guys in the next video about the Durand Cup itself, more about the economical side of Durand Cup. And I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope you subscribe to watch that next one as well. Thanks a lot for watching this video. See you.